Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that players really need to understand about mobile, well, not mobile gaming, but gaming in general. I am Cyber Gamer 1, so stay tuned for the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Hit the like button, notification bell. Let's get this started. So what I want to talk about is that people don't understand gaming unless, here's the thing: if you're cheating in a game, whether it's PC, mobile, console, if you're cheating, you don't understand the game, because you're not learning. You're not learning the game at all. You're basically just using hacking tools to increase your gameplay experience without any improvements of learning how the game works. Because people think games work as like you're supposed to cheat in the game. No, you're not supposed to cheat in the game. It's a rule. It's a policy of the rule of the game that you play. When it comes to online games, that if you're cheating in a game, you don't deserve to play, because the game needs balance. If there's no balance, the game can't function. Because if you're cheating and you're playing unfair, how's that fair play? How is that any way of learning how to play the game? You're not learning anything. If you're cheating in a game, you're not learning anything. Your skills are just down the drain, and it's not good to cheat. The game needs balance. It needs to be a great game, a good game, and it needs to have some flaws, but it has to be in between that. And if the game doesn't have any balance, the game can't function. If there's no balance, if there's no fair play, people ain't gonna play that game forever. They'll play it for a few years. They'll maybe play for a few months, maybe, but they're not gonna play it long term forever. Because the game is unbalanced. The characters are unbalanced. But at the same time, people don't really care too much if the characters are unbalanced. They mainly care about if the game is balanced, because you need the game to be balanced to some degree. And if the game is great and it has some flaws, that's balance. If the game has a bunch of cheaters and it's always flaw all the time, in every single match, every single game, every single around the game, like in general, the game is just flaw, it's just gonna fail, because the devs are not doing what they're supposed to do by banning cheaters in games when it comes to online games. And a lot of players cheat in fighting games, definitely in cheating games, like shooter games, immersive shooter games. People cheat a lot in those games, and that's a bad sign. The game is not balanced. People aren't going to play that game forever. I mean, if you take a look at Call of Duty Black Ops 6, it is the worst game I've ever seen in my life. The game is pathetic. The devs don't do anything to fix Activision don't do nothing to fix their game at all. The game is very unbalanced. The game is very flawed. Very, very flawed, and it's going down the drain. That game is failing. People are refunding, because the game is not balanced. The game is not fixed. There's a bunch of nonsense with the community on the game, trashing the game, which I think is a good thing to trash the game, because Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is trash. I agree with that. But, games that people truly don't understand gaming are the cheaters. The cheaters who do not develop any skill, develop any learning patterns of what game you're playing. And cheaters don't deserve to play the game, because you're cheating. You're not following the policy. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, how games are made, or how games are supposed to be played. Games are supposed to be played without cheats. You're supposed to play the game with policy, the rules, the stuff, that experience that people want to play when it comes to a new game. And if the game is not balanced, if you just allow cheaters to roam your game every freaking day, the game is way too flawed. The game is going to fail because the devs are not doing their job. They're not fixing their game. They're not banning the cheaters. They're letting it roam all over the place. People don't want a very, very flawed game. They want a balanced game that is great, good, successful, and it has some level of flaw, but not too much. Just to balance out the game that players want, that most people or most players that cheat in game don't understand. Take a look at Dragon Ball Legends. Dragon Ball Legends has a lot of cheaters in PvP, roaming, and the PvP, the characters are very unfair. They're not balanced at all. That is a problem to some degree, but we also have the game. The game in general is balanced to some degree. It's just the PvP mode for Legends is just flawed all the time, which is not good. But for the entirely of the game, it's actually balanced. You get events. The events are balanced. You get, the raids are fun to play. You get to use characters, and sometimes it's flawed because maybe some glitches, some bugs. You want the game to be balanced. You don't want it to be over too perfect and over too flawed. I mean, that's not really good because you want the game to be successful, and the only way to make a successful game is for it to be balanced, and people want balanced games. They don't want unbalanced games because unbalanced games fail. Some don't, but most unbalanced games do tend to fail, and people don't understand that cheating is not really okay, and people condone, they really, like, all those players who cheat. People don't like cheaters. Cheaters cheat way too much in video games. They need to stop. It's really out of hand, and they're destroying the game because they have no skill. They didn't learn anything. They didn't learn the ways of the game. They didn't learn anything. They just go on the game and just play like a cheater, and then just expect that you're a good player when you're actually not, and you don't follow the rules and the policy of the game. And people cheat because they're not willing to learn how to play the game correctly. They're not willing to follow the rules. And this is a problem with it, especially with mobile gaming. Some games out there that have a bunch of cheaters, and some games don't. But I have to say this, that people who cheat in games in general don't deserve to play because they do not follow the rules. They don't learn anything. They don't learn anything new. They don't improve. They don't challenge themselves in any capacity. So cheaters don't deserve to play online games. I agree with that. They do not need to play any game online. If you want to cheat, play an offline game. That's the only way you can bypass cheating, is to play an offline game. If you're trying to cheat on online games such as Call of Duty or any other game that's online game, be ready to get banned. Just be ready. And for the devs on certain games, if they don't ban the players and show no mercy, then your game is screwed. Your game is done. Take a look at Call of Duty Black Ops 6. That game is dying, bro. Because people are refunding it. The game is trash. The game is not balanced at all. And the game is significantly... That's why I don't even play Call of Duty games anymore. Call of Duty games are boring. Because all I see is cheaters just roaming the game. The Activision is not banning players. And if they do, they don't ban enough of them. They only ban like maybe 10. That players really don't understand gaming, online gaming. They don't understand it because they cheat in it. They don't develop skill. They don't play the game. They don't learn the ways of the game. And you can learn a lot from gaming if you play it correctly. You can improve. You can do better. You can do a fantastic job playing a game without cheating. I mean, you get rewards. You get a bunch of stuff. But if the game is unbalanced to the point where it's too unfair and allow cheaters to roam your game, your game is set up to fail because you're not fixing your game. You're not doing anything to ban cheaters because you're letting cheaters have mercy, which is not a good idea. You should show no mercy to cheaters when they cheat in online games. They need to be banned, but I know there's a lot of devs out there on certain games that don't ban cheaters. It's like, why are you showing mercy to cheaters, destroying your entire game for what? Like, people are not going to continue playing that game because that game is too flawed. If the game is too flawed with no balance, the game is set up to fail. Kind of like woke games. You know, like those games out there that are way too flawed, way too flawed. Those games are set up to fail. They'll fail before they even release. And you know what? They deserve it. They destroyed the game entirely. So what's the point? But I would say play games correctly. I would say play games that is good. Don't play woke games. Don't play any game that is way too flawed. I would say play games that are balanced. And if you can't play play a balanced game and you rather cheat, then you don't deserve to play online. That's why I agree. I think cheaters need to be banned permanently if you continue to cheat. Personally, I like balanced games. I don't like unfair balanced games, such as games that have a lot of cheaters, way too flawed, not willing to fix their game when it comes to issues. You know, I do want the game to have some level of flaw, but I want it to be balanced. Of course, I want the game to be good, great, and have some level of flawed, but I don't want it to be too flawed, like too far to the left. No. If the game is way too flawed, the game is set up to fail. I mean, come on. People who don't understand gaming when it comes to cheating, those cheating players don't understand gaming because they don't play the game correctly. They don't do anything right. They want to destroy the game because maybe some other reasons. I don't know. I mean, it could be other players. I don't know. Having hatred. I don't know. It could be anything why players cheat. But the answer is because they have no skill. They're not willing to learn to play the game. That's really why players cheat, because they're not willing to learn how to play the game. They don't learn anything. And you can learn a lot from gaming if you play it right without cheating. I mean, how is it hard not to cheat in a game, online game? How is that? Why is it so hard for players to learn how to play the game? Why is it so freaking hard? It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out the game. The game is way too easy if you just learn how to play it. Take a look at Dragon Ball Legends. The game is successful. It's because it's balanced. The game is successful. It's a great game, but it's also flawed. It has some bad things, bad characters, bad festival. I made a video about it. I made a rant video about it. You know what? Because the game is flawed, and also the game is great because I prefer balanced games, but I don't want the game to be too flawed. You know, if I play balanced games like Withering Waves, for instance. Withering Waves is a great, successful game. Guess what? The game is balanced because the game is great, it's fun to play, but it's flawed because it has issues. It has high ping issues. It has maybe conversations that are boring. I mean, I really don't like the conversations. That need to fix that. But then again, I still want the game to be a little bit flawed. I don't want it to be too flawed. I just want it to be balanced at a good pace where the game can be successful and have a great time. That's the games that I want to play. I don't want to play these way too flawed games with a bunch of cheaters and a bunch of, kind of like Battlefield and Call of Duty, which is cheaters just roaming all over the place, just acting like idiots that don't even understand games. Like, it's ridiculous how cheaters roam the game cheating when you can just learn how to play the game correctly and have fun instead of throwing the game in the dumpster, like, like Battlefield 2042 is a great game. The game is fun to play, but it's also flawed because they got cheaters in it. But it has a report system. Like, come on, I want a balanced game. And balanced games are kind of like Battlefield, or kind of like, games that has a report system. The game has the game is flawed, maybe has some glitches and stuff like that needs to be, have a good community to help improve the game rather than going for a game that's way too perfect. Because a game that's way too perfect is no community. People don't talk about the game because there's no issues. You're just playing a game that's good. But then again, yeah, everybody wants a game that's good, but the good games are the balanced ones that people mostly play. Like shooting games. Take a look at Arena Breakout. Arena Breakout it's a balanced game because the game is great, the game is fun to play, but it has flaws. It has glitches, failures, and errors, and it has like cheaters in the games that are getting banned. You want to play balanced games like that because you get to have fun. You don't have to worry about you getting banned because you're not the one that's cheating. But for the ones that are cheating, they're getting banned on Arena Breakout, whether it's the mobile or PC. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace out.